Hi, I am Poonam Jain. I am Senior Director of Project Management Office and M&A Integration Acquisitions at Church & Dwight. PMO is Project Management Office or Program Management Office in some places. That is the part of the organization that is responsible for managing all the projects that we do globally in IT space. And the other part of my job is leading mergers and acquisition integrations. So Church & Dwight, as part of our growth model, we acquire businesses where it fits, and once we acquire companies, we need to integrate and make sure it can work well together with the rest of the organization, rest of the brand. So I lead that at the company level as well. It's a little bit of a cliche, but I'm going to say people, working with people. In both parts of my job, it is all about working with really smart people from all walks of life, different backgrounds, different experiences, and each one brings in their expertise in making what is part of my responsibility to manage, right? So as an example, the current deal I'm working on in terms of my job on M&A, I'm working with legal, and that too outside US, and learning about what you need to do with contracts, how the taxes work in some part of the world versus US. If you thought US was difficult enough, all right. So it's really interesting, something that doesn't necessarily directly relate to tech, but you get it, and that's what I love the most. And the second part, which I think is the reason why I am in the position I am in and the job I'm in, is problem solving. It just gives me a lot of opportunity. There are days when I'm struggling and saying, why can't anything go right? But end of the day, it is very fulfilling because you're solving real world issues. I studied to be a computer professional. I wanted to write the best of the programs, and in the time when I was in college, the databases and whatnot. And I have use for it a lot in my job role, but that's not the path that I ended up taking. I basically ended up diversifying from that programming background or aspiration to write best of the programs, because I realized very quickly there were, one, much smarter people than me doing it, and two, that was not really my passion. My passion was more understanding what we were trying to do and problem solve with all subject matter experts, and that's where I pivoted. But I would not have been here if I didn't study what I studied, and connecting the dots. So I did my undergrad program in math and statistics and computational side of things, and then I did my master's in computer applications. So I started my first job as an IT engineer position, databases, websites, coding, name it. Did that for a couple years, enjoyed it, but I wasn't happy with someone telling me just code this. I wanted to know why, and I had questions, and that's what got me into being a little bit into a business analyst and very quickly into project lead. And then I went in and got trained for project management professionally, and got my certifications and everything, and that's how I grew into this career. I would. I think it puts me into a unique position where I am I know enough to be dangerous, or honestly, to really understand and be able to communicate with people who are going to make it happen on the technology side, and work with the business side of things where they know what they want. So that translation, that conduit role that I'm able to play is because of where my acumen is of problem solving and understanding the business and analyzing it, and my education of having that technical background and knowing how things work. I would say diversify and get as much of varied experience as possible. If I had to redo it, I would do more of non-technology, non-computer related activities, courses, engagement, jobs, whichever shape or form, to get a little bit more depth and appreciation of that world as well. So that would be my one thing if I had to redo it, that focus on your passion and invest time, but also diversify and get experiences on other things, and you never know what you'll find. Utilize this time to get the breadth of experience. It could be in form of talking to people who are in different profession, as simple as that. It could be your friends who are preparing for something and helping them on a project, which is really not your line of work, but you will learn so much. The jobs you do. And it's not only in terms of line of work, it's also geography. Just as much breadth of experience you can capture, it is going to benefit you. You just never know things that you hear, that you learn, that you see, where it pays off later in your career.